Alrighty, guys, welcome back in to another episode of the Playbook Podcast. This is episode 33, I believe. We are recording a little bit late today. It is Tuesday the 20th. Uh, the Thunder just played the Timberwolves. We're going to break that down. We're going to talk about the Nuggets. We'll talk about the Eastern Conference and the Celtics closing or losing out to the Knicks, a preview of the Eastern Conference Finals, and make our NBA picks amongst some other things. So before we get started, I think Trey wants to say some things here. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you take it over here, sir. So go ahead.
Before we go, can y'all hear me? Can you hear me, Nick?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So I find it kind of funny. So those haters out there that want to talk about my back and all sorts of stuff, it's something that I'm not going anywhere for a long time. I just graduated with my associates, and I got this right here. See that? Got it framed. So I'm not going anywhere for a while. Well, things are dropping.
He's dropping some stuff.
So I'm gonna put it right here for right now. But I'm not going anywhere for a long time. I got this podcast is ours. I noticed that the ratings are low. There's a little bit on the podcast than before. But just people out there just ignore what's been said behind my back. Who cares? The fact that I'm in it, someone that's 40 years older than me's head is actually pretty insane because he should be more mature than I am. I'm only 22 years old. This people that beef with me are probably going to in their 50s and 60s and 70s. Like, I don't care. At the end of the day, bro, 30 years from now, you're going to be irrelevant. You won't, no one will remember you. The new media is coming big time. This is new media. Nick, you're in media. Jaden's in media. And I think people that supported this podcast throughout my journey. But you know what? I'm not going anywhere for a long time. You have to deal with that. So, with that being said, Nick, you can say what you want to say. But to be honest with you, bro, who cares about what's been said behind my back? Who cares? It's baloney. Some of it's not true. People. I will admit I've had a rough year so far. Till recently when I got my associates and stuff like that. But I'm not going anywhere for a while. So I'm gonna make it far in the industry because I'm gonna work hard for it. It's not earned. I'm going to rephrase that. It's not given. It's earned in the industry. You can't just go out there and say, you know what, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. That's how it works. The Ranger, when I did that for articles in newspapers at Emerald College, I had to earn it. My first article I wrote, Nick, I had to go redo it because it was terrible. She said, Trey, this is good for MLA format, but AP format is a lot differently. So, I said, okay, teach me how to do AP format. I sat down with them for like an hour. So every day I read articles from people from New York Times, Washington Post, the Tribune, Chicago, even Amarillo on My High Plains and Channel 10. But even people in Lubbock, I read everybody's stuff. So I had to earn it. I couldn't do anything by myself. I really couldn't. So, but other than that, I'm not, like I said, I ain't going anywhere for a long time. You have to deal with that. I don't think I'm a bad guy. I mean, yeah, no one's perfect, but I'm not a demon or a devil. I'm not. I'm not at all. I'm only 22 years old, and I'm still figuring out life. I'm not a know-it-all. So, who cares? Just people out there, ignore that. I know what they say behind my back. Who cares? We're not going to be on. This is our podcast. As long as I'm here, Nick's here, and Jaden's here as a podcast. Till the day we die, or the day the rapture happens, this podcast is going to be available no matter what happens. It's going to be here all the time. I love doing this. I love Nick being my co-host. I mean, Me and Nick was supposed to be me and Nick originally, but Jaden said, you know what, and he has time to do it, so he did it. I know right now he's out because I think he's come home from work probably. I'm not sure. And those out there want to hear on that, about Jaden being late and not coming out sometimes, or Nick not coming out sometimes. Things happen in life, you know. Nick's family went through a lot recently this past couple weeks. Jaden was in school and he was in college. Me, the other hand, I was hurt, but at the same time, I was still came on the podcast. And I'm not trying to take shots at anybody on this show, but I mean, I just showed up because I miss being on that platform. But at the same time, though, it's just the beginning of my story. So, Nick, if I say something, you can say what you want, and yeah.
Yeah. Well said. Well said. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add. Well said. Very well said. So we're just gonna jump right in, guys. We're gonna talk a little bit of basketball. Some things have happened in the NBA. Talk a little bit at NFL. Got some golf to talk as well. So we're just gonna jump right in here. The Thunder just played the Timberwolves in Game 1 of the NBA Western Conference Finals. The Thunder took this one pretty handily, 114-88. I watched the entire game. It's fresh on my mind. I just watched it. It was a pretty nip-tuck ball game till the third quarter. Then the Thunder kind of blew it open, and it was kind of game from there. Julius Randle started out very strong. He had 20 points in the first half, only had 8 in the second half. Ant Edwards was very, very not productive. I'm going to talk a little bit about him later. I have some things to say about Ant Edwards in a bit. 18 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, nothing great. Going over to the Thunder side of the ball, SGA did struggle from the field. He shot 10 of 27, not very good for 31 points. But don't worry, he's a foul baiter, so he's going to get his free throws. He shot 14, made 11. So he ended with 31, 5 rebounds, 9 assists. Jalen Williams played some great defense at 5 steals, 19 points. Chet Holmgren added 15 points. Isaiah Hartenstein added 12. And they had a couple guys off the bench with 9, 8, and 7 points. So this is Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. The Timberwolves looked horrible in Game 1 versus the Warriors. But what was your main takeaway from this game since it's so fresh on your mind?
Yeah, I think the first half was great when the Wolves playing their defense big time. I know Ant-Man got hurt towards the second quarter, towards halftime, so he didn't get to play that much in the first half. He played a great game in the first half. Great first half overall. The team did, but I don't know what happened. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm tired. SGA, he's over here like clickbaiting about his fouls because Doris Burke said that he's a foul merchant, a free throw merchant, basically. Kind of exposing him a little bit. So thank God, because I mean she might get fired now because that's what happens when you expose the NBA. Which is sad because Doris Burke's actually a pretty great analyst sometimes. But yeah, I think that that bench was just like they just fell apart. Jenny McDaniel was fouled out because SGA, of course, but overall, it's a defensive battle game.
Mm-hmm.
I was just shocked that I had Wolves win. I had OKC win the first game though, but if Wolves want to win the series, man, they gotta be more aggressive. They have to.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta come up with a punch. And man, bro, listen, I'm gonna do it right now with Nick. I know Nick's about to say, kinda, but yeah, man, I'm a big fan of you, bro. You're 23 years old. You're a dog. You're him. But bro, step up to the plate, man. If you want to compare to Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, step it up. Step it up, man. Quit waiting to take over the game. Take over the game in a heartbeat. You know what made Kobe Bryant so great, Nick? At the first step of the ball, he's on your butt, no matter what. He wants to attack. He's probably, in my opinion, a better competitor than Michael Jordan because of the way he was. That's what Kobe Bryant was. He was on a dot. Yeah, man. You have confidence, but we gotta take over the game when it counts, man. So there you go.
Yeah, I do have a lot to say. I'll get everything else out of the way first. Nas Reed was horrific.
Yeah,
He was I mean, about as horrible as you can get. 1 for 11 from the field, 0 for 7 from 3, 4 points. He added 8 rebounds and 4 assists. That's great. But 0 for 7, about 5 of those threes were wide open. You looked unbelievable versus the Lakers, and you can't hit an open shot versus the Thunder. That's not going to do. Dante DiVincenzo was horrible, 3 of 14, 9 points. Nickeil Alexander-Walker was horrible, 3 of 11, 2 of 9 from 3. He hit his a couple good shots in the fourth, but it didn't really matter. Yeah, I mean, they were 15 of 51 from 3. That's 29%. That is not going to work. The Thunder were 11 of 21, 52%. That's much, much better. But I've unfortunately, we have to talk about Anthony Edwards. I know he tweaked his ankle I think it was the first quarter. He comes back in, he looks fine. He goes for a big dunk. I don't think he would have tried that if his ankle wasn't well. It looked like he was moving laterally fine. He had his acceleration, and he was an absolute no-show in the fourth quarter. He had 0 points in the fourth quarter. And I came on here a couple months ago, and I said I don't think Anthony Edwards can be the face of the league. I said that because I don't think he's better than some of his peers, like Luka Doncic. I think Luka was the main one I referred to. I also said Wemby. Wemby as well could potentially, become that if his health stays where it needs to be. But it's these kind of games that prove my point. You did this versus the Mavs. You were passive. You didn't really do anything. A lot of people will get on LeBron for that. People say, oh, LeBron was too passive in the fourth quarter. LeBron was too passive in this, too passive in that. I have a great example. Game 5 is May 31st, 2007. That was the Cleveland Cavaliers led by LeBron James facing the, Detroit Pistons. And at this time, the Pistons had Rip Hamilton, Chris Webber, Rasheed Wallace, Chauncey Billups, Tayshaun Prince. This was the championship team, one of the best defenses in the league. In Rasheed Wallace was one of the best defensive players in the league at that time. LeBron scored 25 straight points in Game 5, and won in overtime. He ended with 48 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists. This is 22-year-old LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying Anthony Edwards needs to have 48, 9, and 7. That's not what I'm saying. But he can't have 18.
No.
He can't shoot 13 times. Dante DiVincenzo shot the ball more than Ant. It was only one shot. That's one shot too many. That's unacceptable. Jalen Williams shot 18 times. SGA shot 27 times. Like, Ant, dude, you got to be more aggressive. You're not LeBron. This is not a feel out game. You're not feeling anything out. You just looked horrible. There was a stretch there at the beginning of the fourth where you were playing extremely well. I think it was the fourth, or maybe it was in the third. He hits a 3, then he assists on a 3. The Wolves are up 6, and then Ant does nothing, and the Thunder go on a 17-2 run. That's just unacceptable. Like Trey said, you're getting compared to Michael Jordan, a young Michael Jordan. People are comparing you to Kobe, since a lot of people think Kobe and Jordan were very similar. If you're going to get compared to those guys, those all-time great guards, you can't have a game like this.
Right.
You can't. I mean, you can have a game like this. Michael Jordan had horrible games. Kobe had horrible games. But it looked like you didn't even care. He was passive in the fourth quarter. I know they were double-teaming you. I watched Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals of 2007. They were triple-teaming LeBron, and he was still scoring. He was still hitting shots, 48, 9, and 7. I could, there's countless games where the same thing happened to Kobe and MJ. It's okay to have a bad game, but it's not. I don't think it's okay to be as passive as you were. You're not the passer that LeBron James is or that Magic Johnson is. You're not that kind of a passer. So trying to facilitate like that you're a scorer. You're supposed to score the ball. And I know he was in foul trouble. He still played for 37 minutes. I know maybe he was worried about the ankle, but I have to see more aggression in Game 2. This is the conference final, so it's going to be every other day. It's going to be tough. It's going to be very tough on both teams, but you can't get outplayed by SGA if you have if you want any chance to win this series.
Right.
So,
And one more thing, he told Stephen A. I don't know if you saw this clip, Nick, but last year it was when Stephen A. Smith when they went to Minnesota. Stephen A. asked him about, hey man, who do you think? Talk about the guys coming up after LeBron, Curry, and KD, and then he talked about him, Luka, and SGA. And this is his quote: "How do you feel your game compares?" Stephen A. asked him this: How do you feel your games compared to both players, Luka and SGA? He said, "I'm better." So, but 18 points, bro. Look at his minus. Look at his plus and minus ratio. It's minus 23. That is terrible.
yeah.
That is freaking awful. But I agree with you. I think Edmund needs to be more of an aggressor. He needs to pull. He needs to be like a little bit of Kobe Bryant, kind of, and just take over the game when he can. Start from the. I mean, if he makes 48 shots, he was winning the game. Do that, because he took 5 from 13 from the field, and also he took too many threes too, and it kind of forcing some things too. But I get it, he's young, but come on, man. If you want to be the face of the NBA, if you want to be the best to ever do it, bro, freaking take over the game, man. Take it over.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Yeah.
not a team where you can just do what you want. This team is really good defensive team. Why? OKC is a really good defensive team. They're really good defensive off on the other side of the ball. So you can't do that against the Thunder. So just can't.
Yeah, you can't be passive. You can't just dish the rock to Julius Randle and
Randle played good though.
he played great, but like in the fourth quarter, you can't just dish the rock to him and Naz Reid and expect to win the game. It's just not going to work. And if you look at Luka in the conference finals last year, he gave the Timberwolves 33 6 and 8, 32 10 and 13, 33 7 and 5, 28 15 and 10, 36 10 and 5. I have to see those kind of numbers from Ant-Man. I really do. I know it's probably not going to go down the way that he wants it to. Maybe he wants to be a bit more passive. Maybe he's hoping that he can get his teammates going and he's just feeling stuff out. I suppose that's a possibility. But Ant-Man, I need to see more aggression in game 2, man. I want to see you take 20 plus shots. I want to see you attacking the rim. Be the mismatch problem you were versus the Lakers. Be the mismatch problem you were versus the Warriors. I have to see it. I have to see you talk a big game. You say you're better than all these guys and everything, and everyone loves you. And I know you're very charismatic, and I like to watch you play basketball, but you can't be passive and expect to beat this Thunder team, especially if you want to steal one in Paycom. And I'm spoiled. I'm spoiled because I know some people really hate how much I talk about LeBron, but I'm fortunately going to do it again. I've been spoiled to watch someone of LeBron's caliber be able to go into hostile environments and take over. I saw him do it in Oracle. I've seen him do it in the TD Garden multiple times. I've seen him do it in San Antonio. It's just if you want to be that level of player, and Kobe did the same thing, MJ did the same thing. I'm not just saying LeBron did it. It's just he's the one that came to mind first. If you want to be on that level, right? And we've seen Giannis do it. We've seen Giannis win big games and on the road. We've seen Jokic win big games on the road. Jokic has never beaten a team that has won more than 51 games, but that's neither here nor there. But still, when you win championships, we've seen Steph do it. We saw Steph score 50 in Sacramento in a game 7, and we've seen Steph have big games on the road in TD Garden in 2022. If you want to be that kind of guy, if you want to be the guy that's going to lead a team to the finals and win a championship, you have to have big games on the road, especially in an environment like Paycom. Paycom Arena was bumping today. You have to be able to silence it. You have to do the 2018 Game 6 and 7 or Game 7 LeBron James versus the Celtics and just take it over and silence it. Or 2012 Game 6 LeBron in the TD Garden, right? And you have to be able to do these kind of things if you want to win a championship. And he has to play great in game 2. I think they have to win. They don't have to win game 2 to win because we've seen plenty of teams go down 0-2, then come back to win. But to go in there and make a statement, say, guys, this ain't going to be easy. Like, hey, Thunder fans, I'm here. I'm right here.
Right.
I have to see it. I have to see it. I want to see it. And I think if we're going to hold him to standards of face of the league and baby Jordan and all these things, okay, man, let's see it. I mean, I've seen Jimmy Butler go crazy on the road as well.
Yeah.
In his 2 finals runs, I've seen it. So I want to see it. I want to see it from you. I want to see it from you because I've yet to really see it. He got bounced in 5 in the Western Conference Finals. I know he's had big games on the road in the first and second round, obviously, but this is where rubber meets the road, the conference finals. This is where you can really define your legacy. One of LeBron's biggest, most defining moments of his career was in the conference finals game. So I definitely want to see it. I want to see it. So I hopefully he does that in game 2. We'll see. So moving on to this, well, we're still going to stay on this game, but there's a few things, or I guess mainly one thing I want to talk about from this game. It seems like SGA is just getting every whistle. I watched this game. There were multiple times it looked like he wasn't even being. He's like impossibly hard to watch. I really hate watching SGA. He's like a blatant foul baiter. A lot of times he's not even really looking to score. He's just really a hard watch. I can't believe there's people that actually like this guy, but there is. I know one. I'm actually very close friends with one, and I don't really know how it's possible. But I mean, what's your takeaway from this? He had 14 free throws. A lot of those just were like, what free throws? So I don't know, man. It's just really hard to watch. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with you big time. Hold on, I'm looking something up real quick about his free throws of the regular season because per game he takes 8.8
8.8. Yeah, it's around 8. Yeah.
per game, and so that's why his numbers went up this year and points overall. Here's the deal. Okay, I first thought James Harden was worse. I first thought Steph Curry was up there too. But I watched OKC a little bit this season, and I think that when he's getting locked up or having a bad game, he does stuff like this, and it's really annoying because it takes away the fun from watching basketball. I mean, it's like a big. I mean, literally, there was like one play where this guy falls on the ground, and they call a foul on the Timberwolves. There's another time in this game too, where Edman was guarding him pretty good, and then what happened was he didn't do anything. He just kind of leaned right, and I'm like, bro, this guy, bro, he didn't even touch him. So it's a little bit of foul baiting, and I feel like the game. I feel like he has the officials pay salary, and he's paying them big time. So because that's just ridiculous, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be real with you. SGA is a great guy, but I hate watching him too. I hate it.
Yeah. And like, I'm not even saying that's why they won. I think the Thunder won just because they were a better team today. But like, it's just really hard to watch. You barely touch him. He flings his head back like he got punched by prime Mike Tyson. He's all screaming and stuff. And it's just a hard watch. I'm just gonna say it's a hard watch. So Ant-Man, if you want to stop this nonsense, you have to start playing some real basketball. So
Hey, man, just do what SGA does, bro. Go to the foul line and be stupid.
yeah, he's not going to do it. He's not that soft, so
He's
he's
not
not going to do
soft,
that. But we'll move on here, guys. We'll game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals is tomorrow. I'm actually pretty excited for that series. An old rivalry being reignited, the Pacers-Knicks. If you don't know Pacers-Knicks, man, if you don't think that this is going to be a good series, you just don't know basketball. I've seen so many Pacers-Knicks series that have gotten chippy and nasty, and I really think and hope that that's what this is going to happen here. And I know the Garden is going to be bumping tomorrow, just absolutely bumping. So I'm really, really excited for that series. But moving on, we're going to go back in time a little bit here. The Nuggets and Thunder, obviously, the Thunder won in Game 7. They won in very dominant fashion, a 34-point victory in I think it was 32 point victory in Game 7 After the game, Jokic was asked, "Do you think that this team can win a championship?" He said, "No." He said, "We didn't win, so obviously not." One thing, real quickly, before we talk about this, I had to just read people saying Prime Jokic, has had a higher peak than LeBron James. It's a real thing. It was a real conversation that people were having. It was a real thing that I had to see and watch with my own eyes. And he goes out there, 20 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists on 9 shots in game 7. And he got shut down by a 6'3" Alex Caruso. That is a shame. That is just an absolute shame for something like that to happen. I'm going to just give you LeBron James's game 7 stats. Are you ready for this? Yeah. 35, 10, and 6.
Man.
Here's the game 7s. His first game 7 was Cleveland. Obviously, it's Cleveland versus Detroit in 2006. 27, 8, and 2. He was about 21 years old. That was his worst performance ever in a game 7. Now watch this. Ready? Boston, game 7, 2008. 45, 5, and 6. Miami versus Boston, game 7, 2012. 31, 12, and 2. Game 7, Miami Heat versus the Pacers in 2013. 32, 8, and 4. Then we get the Spurs in 2013. This very series that everyone said Ray Allen saved him in. I actually just watched this game today. 2013 Miami Heat versus the Spurs, game 7 NBA Finals. 37, 12, and 4. The game-winning dagger jumper that just ended the game. Then we get the the legendary 2016 series, 27, 11, 11. In a low 27 points. His team scored like at 90 or something, or 89 in that game. Then we get the 2018 game 7s versus Indiana, 45, 8, and 7. Then versus Boston, 35, 15, and 9. Just get Jokic out your mouth if you're talking about LeBron James. Just stop it. Just stop it, man. I don't want to hear nothing about that nonsense. It's just shut your mouth. I know that there's probably no one that watches that has said that or think that, but I've read it. I've seen real people say that. Oh, Jokic has a higher peak than LeBron. Can you imagine if LeBron went 29 and 7 in the game 7? Even as a 40-year-old, it'd have been all over the news.
He got crucified losing against.
He got crucified for losing against the Timberwolves when he was the only guy on the team that was big enough to block a shot.
Yeah.
And he spent all his energy on defense. It's just unbelievable. I don't want to hear nothing. LeBron is the king of game 7s. The king of game 7s. Okay? MJ, Kobe, their stats look pedestrian compared to game 7 LeBron. Okay? So just stop it. Don't talk about Jokic and LeBron in the same sentence ever again. Sorry. That being said, do you think that the window for the Joker winning a chip in Denver is over?
Well, I'm going to go back to what you said first about comparing him to LeBron. So I don't know who said this. I think it was Brian Windhorst. Maybe. If I'm mistakenly incorrect, let me know. I've seen arguments saying that he's the most dominant player ever as a center behind Shaq. The most skilled center ever better than Hakeem Olajuwon, I guess. But here's the deal. I've always thought Jokic was a little overrated. I've always thought that. I never think he was that good. Here's the deal. If you want to be the most dominant player ever, he doesn't try on defense at all. Some of the shots he makes are good, but I'm gonna be real. I think this season too, he played against mediocre teams this whole season, and that's why his team was in the playoffs. Because if it wasn't for him being in the playoffs and playing bad teams, I don't think he would have made the playoffs this year. Don't think so at all. But he played mediocre teams this year, and Jokic is a great player too, bro. I think he got robbed. I think Luka should have won MVP last year. I think in 2022, he won MVP 2022, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he should have won MVP. I think he's just going to cause race bait towards people, but I think he's a little overrated. He's not better than LeBron. He's not better than LeBron at all, bro. If you think he's better than prime LeBron James,
just stop talking basketball, please.
don't ever talk basketball with me ever again.
Don't ever talk basketball ever again to anybody.
And don't even get on TV. And don't even write an article. I will question your journalism background, buddy. And I'm going to say, bro, get your producer, get the news director, and fire this person. You're fired. Get out. Because that's the most mediocre crap.
Oh, man.
Here's the deal. I grew up watching LeBron James. Okay, he's my favorite player. Him and Kobe, but I've been LeBron bandwagon since day one. I followed him wherever he went. I've seen LeBron James play in the playoff moments and show up and rise above the occasions and win. There's this one game and 2012 game 7-2. The last shot, you know what he did? He hung out that three and sent Paul Pierce home. Looked at the crowd, saying, "Okay, I'm him." That's what he said to the whole crowd. How's this guy, dude? Whoever says is the most, and he has it better than Jordan. How's he better than Michael Jordan? Better prime than MJ? Really? We're gonna do that? Yeah, I mean MJ never went to Game 7, but you know what?
I mean, well, he's not in the finals. He went to Game 7.
Yeah, but he went to finals. Even he went to 3 Game 7s in his career, I believe.
3 Game 7s, yeah.
Because the Knicks,
the Pistons, and the Pacers.
Yeah, so even I'm gonna look at this. Even he played better in those games than Jokic did.
No, I have it right here actually. So he played 3 Game 7s in his career, 33, 7, and 7. Or I guess 34. It's 33.7 if you want to round up. So 34, 7, and 7 versus Detroit. The first one, 31, 8, and 9 versus the Knicks in the second one, 42, 6, and 4. Then versus the Pacers in the third one, 28, 9, and 8. So, like, just stop. Because if you think he has a better prime than LeBron, you think he has a better prime than MJ. Or at least on the same level.
No,
heck no.
Heck to no, man.
Like, I just so.
And people say here, Jack.
Yeah, like ridiculous. Here's Joker's Game 7s. Ready? Here we go. 23, 15, and 7. 15 rebounds. Okay, great. Here, let me say. Versus the Spurs, the first one, 2019. 21, 15, and 10. Pretty good. Then versus Portland, 29, 13, and 2. That's pretty good. Versus Utah in 2020, 30, 14, and 4. Pretty good. Clippers, 16, 22, and 13. Pretty good. Then 34, 19, and 7. Pretty good. And then here we go. Game 7 versus the Clippers, the one that they did win. 16, 10, and 8.
Awful.
And then last week, 29 and 7. So, I mean, he's had some great games. The 34-point game, but like, it's just different. It's just like he's not taking over in these games. And in that Game 7 in 2024 versus the Timberwolves, he lost 34, 19, and 7, and he lost. He blew a 20-point lead. And like that, you're just not seeing that happen from LeBron and MJ. LeBron lost his first 2 Game 7s. He hasn't lost one since.
Yeah.
And MJ, I don't believe lost any of his Game 7s.
No.
I think he lost the first one. He lost the one versus the Pistons. And he's 2-1. His second Game 7, he dropped 42. Like, he wasn't going to lose that game again. So I don't think that he's anywhere remotely close. Kobe wasn't very good in Game 7, so I'll give you that. Joker stats are better than Kobe in Game 7s. Kobe wasn't great in Game 7s, but still, nonetheless, saying that Joker has the same peak or a better peak than LeBron or a better peak than MJ is ridiculous. And he's lost his last 2 Game 7s. That's push come to shove. That's like the game that can define you. Game 6, Game 7 of series, stuff like that can define you. And yeah. So I mean, going back to the original question. Do you think that this window for the Joker winning another ring in Denver is over?
Yeah, so I listened to, there's a take that Nick Wright said on his podcast. He said that he believes, and I agree with him too. He said that the championship window for Giannis,
Embiid
and Jokic window came to a close. And I agree with him about that because Jokic, here's the deal. Jokic doesn't have a team around him. Because his depth is terrible. On his bench let him down in that game 7 against the Thunder, big time. Let him down. So his windows over in Denver. He cannot win if he goes another chip. If he wins another chip, it'll be for
It-
the
it's
next.
going to be at a different team. He's going to have to leave Denver. Yeah.
But I don't think.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't even know where he could go. I mean, so yeah, I think Giannis and Joker, like if they want to win another chip, they're gonna have to leave.
yep.
Yeah, everyone thinks the Warriors are gonna get Giannis. You're gonna have to trade Jimmy Butler, Jonathan Kuminga, Pods, and like 14 draft picks if you want Giannis.
Yeah.
It's just like it's gonna be Steph, Giannis, and friends, and no one else. So I don't really think that's a great package. I think the Spurs and the Rockets have the best package for Giannis, but
I heard that. But what Sean said, Sean reportedly that Giannis wants to go to New York or L.A.
yeah, so I don't think the Clippers would have to ship out
No, the Lakers.
a lot of teams, and then the Lakers. I don't think the Lakers have the capital either. New York could, I suppose, they'd have to trade Cat. They'd have to trade Cat, probably either Miles Bridges or OG Anunoby in picks. I don't know if they want to do that. I mean, it's Giannis, I know, but man, that's just a lot to give up. So I do think the Spurs and Rockets have the best chance because they have the most capital and a package that I think will entice the Bucks quite a bit. But yeah, I think it's over. If they want to win a chip, they're going to have to leave. And for the Nuggets, I really think if they want to do anything, they're going to have to trade Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. And I don't really know if you're going to get anyone that's really going to move the needle if you trade those guys. I really don't know. I just, I don't know. I really don't know. So, that being said, we'll move on to the Eastern Conference. We'll talk some Eastern Conference Finals. We'll talk a little bit of our preview for the Knicks versus the Pacers. Make our picks and then make our NBA Finals picks as well. So the Knicks, closed out a Jason Tatumless Boston Celtics in 6. It was just a dominant performance. 4 Knicks with 20 plus points, 6 total Knicks in double digits. I don't think there's much to talk about. When JT went down, they were winning with JT in, so I don't even. It's just So, what do you think about the Celtics? Do you think that they should? Do you think that they should blow things up, or because they're likely going to be in the second apron, that means they lose access to their full mid-level exception. That means that they'll only be for those people who don't really understand the apron stuff or the salary cap. They're basically going to lose a $15 million year slot. It's probably going to it goes down to about 8-ish. So that's a pretty good player that they're going to miss out on. What do you think is best for the Celtics? JT's likely not going to play at all next year. Do you think it's best? They're in the East. They can probably still make the playoffs. They have a good team. They can probably still make the playoffs. What do you think? They should shut it down? Do you think they should start looking for trades? I saw some people saying they should trade Jaylen Brown in a package for the first overall pick and get Cooper Flag. I've seen all sorts of stuff. Like, what are your thoughts?
Well, before we go to that question, Jaylen Brown is probably he's a terrible teammate for what he did to this team because we saw this 2 years ago in Game 7 when Jason Tatum went down. So 2023, it's Miami when Jason Tatum got hurt with the ankle. He had 19 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 block, 1 steal and 2 blocks. In Game 7, against the Knicks, no, Game 6, my bad. He had 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, without Jason Tatum. So he's a terrible Robin, and I think that we owe Jason Tatum an apology for giving this guy a lot of credit last season, because apparently without JT, he can't show up at all. But anyways, back to your question, I think they should really just really trying to let go of a lot of people. Porzingis might be let go. Drew Holiday might be let go. Derek White might be let go. So and I don't think I don't know if they'll make the playoffs next year because the salary cap's gonna lose 15 million of their people. So I don't know. I don't think they'll. I think. I think if I'm them, I trade Jaylen Brown, get a restart because Jaylen Brown's a good player, but I think he needs to get off Jason Tatum's shadow because JB wants to be the best player on a team.
Mm-hmm.
Wants to, but or JT, it won't let him. It won't happen. So, but I just think that.
Yeah.
I just think they need to trade and reset everything with Boston because Boston's a good team, but with Joe Mazzulla too, man. I mean, that guy lets him shoot so many threes, and he said, "Hey, come on!" I don't know what he does in the timeouts. He says, "Okay, guys, shoot 58 threes, you win the game." Apparently, that has not worked at all, and
Yeah.
shows a lot this season too. But yeah, in the
Yeah.
series against the Knicks.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of that. I think if the main core of the team, so like Drew Holiday, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, and I guess I'll throw just Peyton Pritchard in there. If those four guys are still on the team, they'd probably make the playoffs in the East. They'd probably at worst be a play-in team because the East is very, very weak. Like I think that team is probably still better than the Magic. It's probably still better than the Pistons, unless the Pistons make some moves, because it's just there's a lot of experience and championship acumen there. But I like the idea of at least shopping Jaylen Brown. Just think about it. Like just things like that. Shop him. See what you can get. Call the Mavs. Hey, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, 3 first-round picks. Can we have Cooper Flag? That's probably too much, actually. That's way too
The
much.
Mavs said they want to trade it first.
So he said they wouldn't trade it, but Nico Harrison also traded Luka Doncic. So I'm just not going to believe him at all. Like I don't believe anything he says. So if they called him, so that's a crazy package. Jaylen Brown, Derek White, 3 first. The Mavs would do that in a heartbeat. I think that's ridiculous. Or maybe they wouldn't, but I think they would. So call him. Call the Bucks. Hey, you're really desperate. You want Jaylen Brown to pair with Giannis? Giannis going to leave. Here's this guy. They could do the same thing for the Nuggets. Hey, Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, and 4 draft picks for Jaylen Brown because your guy needs some help. So stuff like that. I don't know. I like the idea of at least thinking about it. If not, just try to keep everyone you can. But I do think that the Celtics team is going to look a lot different when JT comes back for sure. But moving over to the Knicks side of the ball, we're just going to go right into Eastern Conference Finals preview. Knicks, Pacers. The Knicks have been unbelievable this year. The Pacers have had a fantastic run this year. This is a legendary rivalry. John Stark and Reggie Miller literally wanted to kill each other. Reggie Miller's famous choking thing, all that, this is a legendary rivalry. The choke game was in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Knicks, game 5. I want to see which game it was. Reggie Miller taunted Spike Lee after hitting a 3. Like, this is a legendary rivalry. I'm so pumped for this series because I think there's going to be techs, flagrants, people going to get thrown out. I think Benedict Mathurin and Mitchell Robinson are going to start fighting each other, like all sorts of stuff. But who's your pick and in how many games?
I got Knicks in 7, bro.
Knicks in 7?
I think we'll 7 games. I think these teams kind of match each other pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I did watch that series on YouTube in 2000, and the Asian Cup that was 25 years ago, and we weren't born yet. I wasn't born yet. I don't know about Nick, but I wasn't born. And
I was not born in 1995.
Yeah, it was real. But
1994. I was not born.
It's gonna be a battle.
It's gonna be a battle. Yeah, for sure.
I can't wait to see it. This is why people love sports, and nothing better than basketball in my book. So
Yeah. So I'm gonna make my comments. Trey's gonna die of thirst.
be right
So
back, guys.
I'm gonna let him go get a drink. I'm gonna go ahead and make my picks here. I do agree with Trey. Knicks in 7. That was gonna be my pick. I like this Pacers team a lot more than I probably should. I have a little bias towards the Pacers right now for reasons I won't get into, but they play tomorrow. This Pacers team is fast. They're aggressive. They spread the ball. These are really well-matched teams. I think it's going to come down to Jalen Brunson versus Tyrese Halliburton. Because I think both the supporting casts are both extremely well put together and good. They're both 8-ish deep, 7, 8-ish deep. But I think it's going to come down to Jalen Brunson versus Tyrese Halliburton. I'm that guy, guys. Who's the best player? If the casts are similar, right? If the supporting casts are close in talent, it's always to me who's the best player and are they going to play like that? Because in 2017 and 2018, when the Warriors had 4 first ballot Hall of Famers in the starting lineup, it's a little different. But for a team like this, where the Pacers are deep and they have a lot of talent, the Knicks are deep and have a lot of talent. For me, it's who's just the best, who's the best player. So I got Knicks in 7 as well. I'm right alongside there with you, Trey. I think it's going to be a nasty, gritty series. I'm really excited for it. And my goodness, if Tyrese Halliburton hits a 3 in front of Spike Lee and Timothy Chalamet and does the choke thing,
And
oh my
Stephen A.
goodness,
Smith.
that would be awesome. That would be awesome. That would be so awesome. But yeah, I definitely have the Knicks in 7. It's going to be a close series, I think. The Pacers are no slouch. They are no slouch at all. So that's our Eastern Conference Finals picks. We're going to make our Western Conference Final picks and our championship final picks. So
real quick, I find it kind of crazy how the 25 years since the Knicks went to the Eastern Cup to the championship game, Cowboys haven't been at all.
Anyways, so we both picked the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. Who you picking in the Western Conference Finals?
I got Wolves in 7.
Wolves in 7. Okay.
I trust it. I mean, I know Ant-Man will. And no, if I know weird because Ant-Man's been playing bad in game ones this year.
He has, yeah.
He takes over the game, the next game. So I have Wolves winning in 7.
I want to say Wolves in 6 or 7. I'm going to say Thunder in 6 just because SG is going to shoot 57 free throws a game, and I don't know if Ant-Man's going to take the leap that I want him or expect him to take. So I'm going to say Thunder in 6. And for your championship pick, who are you going to pick?
Okay. Spike Lee. I'm sorry, guys. Stephen A. Smith. I'm sorry. Tracy Morgan.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, him. Tom Brady. I'm sorry to tell you this, guys. Y'all ain't winning jack this year, bro. So I got Wolves winning it all this season, and but you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Thunder won. So because freaking SGA taking
it's taking 50 free throws a game.
Free throws.
So I'm going to shock you. I think regardless of who wins the Western Conference Finals, I got the Knicks winning the championship.
Dude, that happens, bro.
The city of New York might explode. There might be explosions in the city, but I'm going to give you a reason why. I think they're just as deep and as talented as the Western Conference teams.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson has come into his own as a superstar. Cat is picking up where he left off last offseason. But I also just think they have the personnel to match up with the Thunder or the Timberwolves because they have long, athletic wings that can guard. And the whole point of getting OG Anunoby was having a guy who could guard Jason Tatum. That was literally the whole point. And that transfers to SGA and that transfers to Ant. They have McCall Bridges and OG Anunoby, 2 elite perimeter defenders. They have size in Cat and Mitchell Robinson off the bench. They have shooting with Cat, Jalen Brunson, OG, and and McCall Bridges, and they have shooting off the bench with Deuce McBride, Cameron Payne, and they have the Draymond Green do it all guy and Josh Hart. I think they're a good team, and I think it'd be great for the league if the Knicks won a championship. The city of New York might literally combust and explode into fire, because I don't know if you saw videos of them just making the Eastern Conference Finals. The streets were flooded. There was a dude on top of the freaking Jumbotron in the middle of Times Square. Timothy Chalamet was getting pulled by his security guards back into the car because he was trying to celebrate with everybody. There was a guy, they were crowd surfing with a police barrier, and a guy was on top of the police barrier. It was crazy. But I think the city of New York.
I saw someone in Indiana, a Jersey guy jumped.
Yeah, someone in a Halliburton jersey got hit with a big old trash bag.
Dude,
he got jumped, and I'm just like, man, that's crazy.
He's doing his own thing, man.
He was just chilling. Hey, him wearing a Pacers jersey in New York City was definitely a choice. But this is going to be an awesome series. I hope it's a Game 7. Man,
this might be the best Knicks team I've seen my entire life.
This is the best Knicks team I've ever seen with my own eyes. Absolutely. Because I never got to, yeah.
No, didn't do this.
No, Carmelo made it to the second round once, I believe.
By LeBron.
And so I'm just like, I never really saw a great Knicks team. This is a great team. They have I think Tom Thibodeau is a good coach. I don't think he's a great coach. I'll never forgive him for what he did to Derrick Rose, but he's a good coach. They have a superstar. They have a good supporting cast. Cat is great. They have shooting, defense, all the stuff you want from a championship team. And they also are going to have probably the best home court, maybe them or the Thunder. But the Garden is just, guys, if you watch tomorrow's game, I don't know when this episode is going to come out. So if it comes out after Game 1, then tell me, what'd you think of that crowd? And if it happens before, just be ready. Madison Square Garden is going to be absolutely electric. I'm really excited. So I got the Knicks winning the championship over the Thunder or the Timberwolves. I really do. I want to pick the Wolves if they win, but something about this Knicks team feels really different to me for sure. So we're going to go off to some other NBA topics a little bit before we break off into some other sports. But the question Trey proposed is our top 5 playoff moments of all time. There's a problem with that. All of mine are going to be LeBron. Okay. So I'm going to go right now off the top of my head. 2016 championship obviously is my number one. The reverse comeback, the down from 1 to 3 comeback, that's number one for me. LeBron and the Cavs winning, being the only team to come back from that deficit in the finals, absolutely number one. I'm going to say Ray Allen's shot. So I guess not LeBron. It's on LeBron's team, but Ray Allen's shot in Game 6, just that Game 6 of the 2013 finals was just unbelievable. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to say I'm going to go with this 25 straight points from LeBron. Sorry, guys. I'm a LeBron fan. My bad. That was, the moment where I think LeBron became the best player in the league. I think he was the best player in the league from that moment until 2021 when he got injured. So I'm going to say that one. So the 2007 Game 5 versus the Pistons. I'm going to say Game 6 versus the 2012 Conference Finals. LeBron 45, 15, and 5 versus the Celtics. That's 4. Let me try to go non-LeBron. Let me try to go non-LeBron for the 5th one. I'm going to go with, you know what? I'm going to go with, man, this is tough. I'm going to, there's a lot of great playoff moments, man. I'm trying to go non-LeBron, so this is going to be harder. I'm going to go, man, it's really hard to, here, you go while I'm thinking of my 5th one.
Okay. Number 1. Probably 45, 15, and 5 with LeBron. Game 6. I think he cemented his legacy, and he saved his legacy basically because that team was going to trade everything and call LeBron a bust. Number 2, I'd probably give you the 16 finals. Number 3, probably MJ 98, his last championship. Number 4, I'd probably say 2007 Game 5 as well, 25 straight points.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 5, man, it's tough.
I'm trying to go non-LeBron because I would go one of the 2018 moments or something like that, but I'm trying to go non-LeBron for my last one.
Number 5, I'd probably say I gotta look something up because I gotta make sure this is not incorrect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's a couple I'm thinking of. 1998 Bulls Jazz would be a good one. Yeah, I don't actually hate MJ, guys, surprisingly. I know that's so shocking to a lot of people, but I don't actually hate MJ. I don't know if I want to put that one there, though. Man, there's a couple. You know what? Forget it, man. I'm just going to do the entirety of the 2018 playoffs. What LeBron did in that run was just unbelievable. There's like 15 moments from there. I could go with the first round versus the Pacers, the game winner. I could go the game winner versus the sweeping the 1 seed Raptors, hitting like crazy fadeaways. LeBronto. I could go with game 6 or 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals in 2018. I'd probably pick game 7 because he played every minute in that game. But yeah, I'll stick with that. So there's my 5. They're all LeBron. Sorry, guys. I was trying to do non-LeBron. I have playoff moments where there's
also number 5 for me, probably 2018. LeBron too. Yeah, number 5. Yeah, probably that. Especially against Boston and then Indiana. Because I'll never get this too. When in game 5, when he hit that game-winning shot against Indiana, people were saying LeBron's going to get swept. He's going to get beat, and look what happened.
Yep.
The game-winning shot against Victor Oladipo.
Yeah. Man, yeah. That was the first round.
Yeah, first round, yeah, against the Pacers.
So, what did he have in that game? Game 5. So they lost lost game 1, then they were down. He hit that 3. He had 44 in game 5. Oh my word, LeBron is so good. Sheesh. He's just so unbelievably good at basketball. He had 44, 10 and 8. Oh, okay. All right. But yeah, Joker's better. Whatever. Yeah, that's definitely where I'm going to put that. So yeah, sorry guys, all LeBron, my bad. I'll make sure not to do it again. I probably will though. But moving on, I want to talk about this real fast. I'm not going to be long. I promise. Michael Jordan opened up. He broke his silence about joining NBC. And there's a great article written by Elliot Barnes at the Medium, and he interviewed Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan, here's the title of the article. Michael Jordan breaks his silence. NBA legend joins NBC to confront the toxic legacy of his own fans. And it opens up with a quote from Michael Jordan. You know, it's gotten bad when the guy they worship has to come down and tell them to shut up and enjoy the explicit game. He said a bad word there. Or that was a quote from one of Michael Jordan's friends, a frequent golfing partner. But Michael Jordan is joining NBC, and the main takeaway from this is he thinks the game has evolved. He thinks the game is fantastic, and I was really excited. I mentioned this. I was really excited to see what MJ thought about today's game, and he said that the current league is awesome. He said that there's so much talent in the league. He said that there's so much good basketball players, and you know the the article goes on to say that he wishes his fans would stop disrespecting guys like LeBron, Steph, or Harden, or anyone. He wants the game to move forward. So that being said, when I said I don't hate Michael Jordan, I dislike his fans, this is exactly what I'm talking about, because MJ doesn't like you guys either. Okay. Sorry, I'm just reading what MJ's saying. He doesn't like his own fans because they refuse to believe the game has moved forward and has evolved, right? And the MJ fans have gotten so warped into thinking that he is blameless and he's done nothing wrong and he's perfect and all of that. And today's game sucks and no one's good anymore. I love MJ. I think MJ's the second greatest player of all time. I think that he revolutionized the game of basketball. I think that he made it global. He has a lasting legacy with his play on the court and his business off the court, his shoes, his brand, all that's massive. I know that, but there is his fans, you guys, and this is nothing personal. I'm not attacking you as people, because you're all great people, I'm sure. I know some of you personally, and you're great people. My own blood brother is an MJ fan. Of course, great people. Great people. You guys just pretend like he's basketball Jesus, okay? And I know that what Larry Bird called him. Larry Bird called him that after whipping his booty and swept him in the first round. So whatever. But the MJ's not doing this to pick up a mic and tell you that he's the GOAT. He's doing this to pick up the mic and tell you to stop disrespecting the game of basketball. Because when you call these guys horrible and they suck, and MJ would average 45 in today's league, that's a bunch of baloney. MJ would not average 45 in today's league. He'd probably average a lot. I'm not saying he'd get shut down, but the game's evolved. People have evolved. Humanity's evolved. We have better training regimens. We have better science, health science. We have better sports science. We have better surgeries. We have better medication. We have better, like I said, training. And today's league's just better. It's more talented. The average player is way more skilled than the average player back then. Peyton Pritchard would probably average like 30 a game in the 90s just because he'd shoot from 40 and they'd think he was like committing a sin or like witchcraft or something. So I love that MJ's doing this. I love that he's finally talking about how toxic his fans are, because they are. So I'm sorry if you feel personally attacked by this. I'm sorry, because it's just what MJ said. I'm not attacking you as a person. I'm attacking you as a basketball fan. Okay. We can have a conversation about basketball and I can get a little chippy about that, because you guys love to get chippy with me about LeBron. So I'm going to get chippy with you about MJ. And he agrees. He doesn't like you guys either when it comes to your fandom of and how you view the game of basketball. So I thought that was really interesting. I'm really excited to hear him actually say it on the air. We'll see what happens. But he's a legend. He's an icon. He's on the Mount Rushmore of basketball. I have nothing but love for the man. Well, as the basketball player, because he's not actually. Never mind. As a basketball player, MJ's great, and I have nothing but love for him. I love his game. His swag, what he did for the league is like you can't argue it. It's irrefutable what he did for the league. But his fans, guys, the league's just it's evolved. It's better now. LeBron played in a tougher era. Kobe played in a tougher era. Sorry, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. It's not MJ's fault. He was the one that was born in whenever he was born. But
63.
Yeah, of course. Trey knows 63. It's not his fault. He played in the era that he was born and he dominated it. Okay, there's that. But I can sit here and tell you that today's league is better, because MJ would sit up here and agree with me. So that being said, do you have any thoughts on that, Trey?
Yeah, I actually do. So I agree with your points. I do think that, I worked somewhere for a year where they didn't give anybody credit to this day and age that people travel with the ball. I'm like, dude, have you ever been through a basketball workout in your entire life, dude? I questioned them because I'm like, dude, I went through a lot with Melvin Baker and with you. It's you want people to dribble with one hand for 5 minutes on like with one hand. That's stupid basketball. Who's gonna watch that? Nobody. I ain't watching that. Um, that's a bunch of baloney. Number one. So I agree. I don't think one of my problem is that they don't take. This is probably the only sport, basketball, where they take players today's day and age and discredit them, like Charles Barkley and like sometimes a little bit of Shaq. He kind of stopped a little bit, but he does it here and some in here and there. Not a lot like he used to. But now Jordan fans. Listen, I love MJ too. I think it's a tie in basketball as the GOAT. And for me, this is my opinion.
He's lying.
No, I'm not. So,
He's lying.
but my problem with Jordan fans is this, okay? I'm a Jordan fan too. I love Michael Jordan. Um, I didn't grow up in the 90s era, but I look up to him a lot. And even off the court too. I don't care what he did. I look past that stuff. I always done. Even Tiger Woods looked past what he did. And people that are my favorite people, celebrities, I look past that stuff they did. So I'm kind of glad I said this because his fans don't give credit to LeBron. Steph Curry can bash all you want. I don't care you bash Curry. I'm actually fine with this. I'm actually fine with that because he's not the GOAT at all and never will be the GOAT. So you can bash Curry fans and Harden fans too because Harden and Game 7 is terrible, by the way. He's overrated too. So he can bash Harden. So I disagree with Jordan. I disagree with MJ about that. Because they're not the GOAT and never will be. Now LeBron, I think because Gilbert Arenas made a point, and you weren't here on the podcast that day, Nick, but me and Shannon talked about it. I think the biggest mistake in NBA basketball overall is being called the next Michael Jordan. It's a curse on you. It's a curse because Jordan, they took him for granted. Basically, they took MJ for granted because he won every year, and no one, even though he retired from and went to play baseball, he still won every year in the NBA when he was playing, except in the 90s, especially the whole 8-year stretch he went to the finals. Took it for granted. We do that with Tiger Woods too. We did that for because people called him the next Tiger Woods. It's a curse a little bit because they wanted you to put the standard on them like what they were standard, what their standards are as a whole. That's not how it works. And with LeBron, I hate the fact he gets bashed because he's a great guy. And at 18 years old, people loved him. And then what next thing you know, when we saw how talented the guy actually is, they criticized him because he wore number 23. So I'm fine with Jordan's comments. I agree with his comments sometimes, somewhat. But I think I agree with Nick especially a lot. People evolve. Technology has evolved big time. I mean, I have a MacBook. Back then, that didn't exist. I have look at for example, video games evolve. TV evolve. TV is evolving big time. Media is evolving. People are evolving. People are more talented, more smarter than they were back in the day. So, as far as the GOAT though, is a tie. So that's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Anyways, Trey's full of baloney, but yeah. So there's that. Maybe we'll have another GOAT talk someday, just so Trey can just quit being stupid. But moving on, we're gonna hop over a little bit of NFL and a little bit of just touch on some stuff in the MLB and touch on some golf before we wrap things up here. But the NFL schedule came out What's the game you're looking forward to the most this year?
The Cowboys versus the Chiefs.
Okay.
I want to see. It's a Thanksgiving Day,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
Mahomes gonna blow them out, bro.
Yeah. So I'm not looking forward to anything. I'm really it's really going to be a hard time for me this year.
Because it's America's team versus America.
I think the Cowboys are going to stink. Maybe they'll prove me wrong. I don't know, but there's a couple games. At Baltimore, Cincinnati on Thanksgiving Day is going to be good, I think. But sure. I'll say Kansas City at Dallas Thanksgiving Day, just so they can ruin my Thanksgiving dinner. So yeah, whatever. We'll see how this season goes, but I'm not super high on it. But moving on here to we'll touch a little MLB topic here. Rob Manfred decided to let Pete Rose be eligible for the Hall of Fame after he had passed away. What do you think about this?
Dude, this is the most stupidest move ever, bro. Dude. Now that he's dead, he's in the Hall of Fame now, really?
That makes no sense to me.
That makes 0 sense. What? So are you going to do this to Barry Bonds next?
I guess. I guess, yeah.
Okay, here's the deal, okay? Pete Rose should have been in the Hall of Fame when he was alive.
Mm-hmm.
He was a first baseman, played for the Reds, played for the Phillies. He also, I think has some kind of record of home runs. He was known for his diving. Is known for his dives and stuff like that. But this is the most dumbest thing ever. If we want to do that, bro, here's the deal, okay? I believe Shohei Ohtani should be banned from the MLB then, because Shohei Ohtani, I think, was part of the scandal that happened last year towards the beginning of the season with his interpreter. He was, I believe, was part of that scandal. But you know what? It's Shohei Ohtani. He's marketable. He's valuable. Now, Aaron Judge. They think Aaron Judge is on steroids because of how big the guy is in person. He's 300 pounds, 6'8", and he's a man among boys. So we're gonna do this. If you're gonna do this to Pete Rose when he was alive, then you should do it to Shohei Ohtani and Barry Bonds. I mean, not Bonds, and Aaron Judge. So this is a dumb move. It's crazy, Nick. I find it kind of weird because I've never been to the Hall of Fame Museum in Cincinnati and baseball. I've heard that Pete Rose stuff is everywhere in that museum in Cincinnati. His shoes, his bat, his memorabilia is in that Hall of Fame. So why are you putting him in the Hall of Fame now when he's dead?
Yeah.
This is a dumb move this is a bad move on the MLB. It's too late now. I know President Trump wanted to do a pardon on him. That ain't gonna work. That didn't work a long time ago. Why is it working now? So this is a dumb move on the MLB. He should have been in when he's alive. And I think those writers are stupid. And they should really, 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 I question their newsworthy status as a journalist overall. So this is a bad move from the MLB.
I don't really get the thought process, but Rob Manfred is also kind of stupid. So, yeah, I agree with you. Absolutely. I agree. So I don't really have anything else to say on that. You just really weird, really, really weird. But moving on here, guys, the last topic, we'll be talking a little bit of golf. The PGA Championship was last week. Scotty Scheffler, man. Scotty Scheffler comes out, wins the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow. He's at three majors now. Two Masters, one PGA Championship, proved he can win outside of Augusta. What does this mean, man? What does this mean for his legacy as the current number one golfer in the world?
Yeah, he played really good, and especially in the third round, he played really good.
He was unbelievable in the third round.
In the fourth round, it was kind of up and down, but I think he might win a Grand Slam.
I think he could. Yeah.
Maybe not in one, and maybe not one calendar, but maybe kind of like what kind of like what Jack Nicklaus did in his prime. Won every 3 years, and then he got a Grand Slam. So I think he'll win a Grand Slam sooner or later. So if you win a Grand Slam,
Yeah.
I mean, we have some talks about the top 10 golfers
Mhm.
as a whole.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And yeah, Scotty was awesome. He played great in round 3. He's unbelievable in round 3, and then he put together a solid round in round 4, and that was enough to win. And real quickly, man, he thought he was going to get away. John Rahm, buddy. John Rahm at one point was tied with Scotty at 9 under, and then John Rahm in his last 3 holes goes bogey, double, double, game over. Unlucky. He played great up until that point, but yeah, no, I think he could win. I think Scotty could win a Grand Slam in his career. We'll see. We'll see how he does. I see him struggling to win a US Open. His game, so he's a ball striker. His irons are unbelievable. He has distance, but man, I don't know. You have to have a really interesting game to win a US Open. So I think that's going to be his tough. I think that's going to be his Augusta, Rory, the Masters was his problem. And I think Scotty could have an issue with the US Open. I think he's prime time player to win an Open. So I see him being able to win that one pretty easily at some point this year or in the upcoming years. But yeah, I think so. And we just mentioned Rory. We're going to talk about him. I think everyone on the show picked him to win this one. It was at Quail Hollow, his course. He just didn't play great at all.
He's hung over from winning the match.
I think so too. I do. I agree. I think it was too short of a turnaround, and I think he's mentally hung over from the Masters. I do.
It's kind of like how I was a couple of weeks ago when I came here all weird.
Yeah. So I think that he's going to eventually be playing free golf and play great. I still think he's just mentally exhausted from that tournament. I really do. And I think it wasn't enough time for him. He gets a little bit of a break till the US Open. Let me pull up the date here. It's in Oakmont, and it's going to be June 12th through the 15th. So he gets about a month. I think he'll be okay by then. I'm excited to see how he plays there. But yeah, I think it's just more of a mentally hungover thing, and I think he'll be okay and ready to go by the US Open. But yeah, man, live golfers, man, they stink. If you're not named Bryson DeChambeau, you're just not very good at golf if you're on live. I don't really know.
Bro. Phil had 70 and 80 as first round, bro. What happened to these golfers, bro? Is it the money? What is it, bro?
I'm not sure. I think it's a mix of the money and they don't play 4-round events. They play 54-hole events, shotgun starts. So it's just not very conducive, but Bryson's very, very regimented, and Bryson will play. He's like a robot. So I think his personal life is suited for majors. And I just don't think Dustin Johnson doesn't care about golf anymore. Brooks Koepka doesn't really care about golf anymore. Phil Mickelson is about as washed can get. John Rahm had his first good major tournament round since he became a live golfer, and he choked and wet the bed in the last 3 holes, going 5 under in the last 3 to just completely gut his chances of winning anything. But yeah, man, I'm very impressive win to Scotty. Huge congratulations to him, 3-time major championship winner, best golfer in the world right now. So I'm excited to see the rest of this year. My guy Ludwig Oberg, he wasn't even there. He didn't even show up. It seemed like I'm not quite sure what happened to him. He missed the cut. He was not good at all. He has a chance to bounce back at the US Open. He's got a game that suits the Open, so I'm excited to see that. But yeah, that being said, guys, thank y'all so much for joining us for episode 33.
Giveaway in a month.
Another giveaway coming up. So if you guys want want someone other than Travis to win, you got to start commenting. All right.
Yeah.
Start commenting. So remember to like, comment, subscribe, follow us on socials, hit that bell for notifications on when we post. This episode should be up either tomorrow or the day after. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again next week, regularly scheduled episode. So you have a fantastic rest of your week, day, night, morning, whenever you're watching, whenever you're listening. Y'all have a great one. So we'll see you next time. Peace out.